The vision for On Demand Pharmaceuticals is to be the world's most agile provider of quality and reliable medication as a service and at the point of care. And when you think about the next wave of therapeutic innovation, it's ever more personalized. In the absence of a fully integrated platform like we've designed and developed, it's really hard to envision how you get to a distributed platform for drug manufacturing. It's about where we can support the next wave of therapeutic innovation with the tools and technologies that we've developed. It's a beautiful thing when you put passion together with intelligence. And so this team is just blessed with the right tools and talent to solve complicated problems. And they've applied it to something that there's not a lot of other companies out there looking to solve the drug shortage problem today, because it is challenging. But this whole team has been brought together to solve this problem because it's something they believe in, and they've worked hard to develop technology, instruments, consumables, and even informatics to better understand what the driving problems are that cause drug shortages. You know, it all comes back to the patients and the patient's needs.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about this a little bit, and how the whole program started is kind of an interesting little ditty. I was sitting in my office as a professor doing professor things, and I get a phone call, and it turns out it's Jeff Lane, the founder, and he had gotten my name from somebody, and he's like, Tyler, I want to create a cell phone sized device that makes medicines. I want it to be able to spit out, doses in the field, like multiple doses. I want to be able to make any drug. And I was thinking to myself, like, are you kidding me? Any drug? Well, I said, maybe it can't be the size of a cell phone, maybe a desktop printer. And so about a couple months later, I get a DARPA contract to start making medicines in a way that would allow you to make it into a machine. And my group was the first group that had defined a way to make ibuprofen where you put in the raw materials and out at the end came the active ingredient. And that was sort of the beginning of this process.
And that's one of those things that as we've learned more about the issues that we're dealing with, it's not just the availability of drugs, but it's also the quality of drugs that we're seeing. And so one of the things we've learned since the pilot project is that not only can we produce those pharmaceuticals on demand here in Tupelo, but they're higher quality than what you get off the shelf in the open market today. And so being able to produce it not only locally, but also produce it as a quality that can't be matched by those international producers, again, is another reason we need to do it more here and rely far less on those international producers. When we started the partnership with On Demand Pharmaceuticals, they asked us sort of create the list of drugs that you commonly use but are in a shortage or come into a shortage state at some point in the cycle process. And so we identified a number of drugs. Through our pilot project sanctioned by the State Board of Pharmacy in Mississippi, we started with 5 drugs to produce those. And since we test the concept and pass the test, if you will, and prove that the concept works within those 5 drugs, we look forward to expanding the list of drugs that we can produce on site, as well as expand the capacity and capability to produce those drugs at a higher volume and at a lower cost. So that's what we see as the next critical steps for us in this partnership, is developing that capability to not only produce more drugs, but also do it on a larger scale so that we're producing the needed drugs not just for our health system, but also perhaps for other health systems and providers across the country.
It was really successful. We had, I think it was right at 12,000 doses that we compounded in the pod. We were able to provide care for a lot of patients with those compounded sterile products, and knowing that we had good quality, we didn't have any failures. We would never endeavor to undertake that in our building. Of course, we can't. You wouldn't do non-sterile and sterile in the same space. So just seeing it be able to be done, and furthermore to be done in such a short period of time because of that, the mobility of it and the agility that Germfree brought with the mobile compounding facility. It could be different from day to day. We were able to plan a week ahead of time, But if something changed and we needed to pivot and say, well, today we don't need to compound this, we need you to compound us 100 doses of this other medication, we could certainly do that.
We have had definitely shortages of medicines that we use every day over the last few years. I can think of multiple shortages that have forced us to make decisions about sort of a triage of process of who's going to be best served as physicians and people that care very much about our community and our patients. We maintain the highest standards, and you don't want anybody to have to receive an alternative. But the reality is that when you only have a limited amount of something, you've got to plan and be wise with how you use it.
For what we're doing right now, we're also trying to be as innovative as we can and fit within the existing regulatory paradigm. From a longer-term perspective, just think about what the other opportunity space is. We can deliver smaller batches of more precise doses for patients based on these evolving technologies that are essentially making the clinicians more effective at being more precise in how they cure disease. And so we want to get ahead of that. We want to set up this distributed manufacturing capability to enable that new technologies that are out there to more precisely diagnose and treat disease.
It all starts with great collaboration between teams, and we've come up with a very novel solution that serves the application perfectly. So the SR Pod platform that was specifically designed with the team from On Demand Pharmaceuticals was specifically built to their workflow, and it consists of 2 trailers with a vestibule connecting that allows us to move materials and to move people through the process properly and efficiently. So we've become very adept at serving healthcare clients with mobile clean rooms and provide a very unique solution to these applications. Germfree's mission is to serve life science innovation and advance global health, and aligned with that mission is our partnership with On Demand Pharmaceuticals to serve the drug shortages which are ravaging the United States right now.